C'est le bulletin.
Et le bulletin des cousins. Avec Gaillance.
C'est le bulletin.
Et Julio.
Des cousins.
Et aujourd'hui, on a Kris Guilty avec nous. Kris Guilty qui, écoute, là, il est dans la scène montréalaise depuis qu'il a 13 ans parce qu'il mixe
OG.
depuis qu'il a 13 ans. Écoute, là, un de nos meilleurs DJ qu'on a en ville, maintenant propriétaire du record store La Rama.
La Rama sur Bernard.
Oui, sur Bernard. Bernard! Et donc, on est vraiment content de l'avoir avec nous. Aujourd'hui, on va discuter de plein de choses. Donc, comment ça va, Kris?
Ça va très bien.
Bienvenue au show, Chris.
Un bon matin. Là.
Bon matin.
Alors, on enregistre tôt aujourd'hui parce que tu as des responsabilités. Il faut que tu retournes nourrir la ville de tous les styles musicaux qu'on peut capter à la Rama.
Yes.
Nous, on se connaît depuis un petit moment maintenant. J'imagine qu'avec Aïcha, vous êtes à l'ancienne, là, tu vois. Mais moi, j'ai connu Chris littéralement, genre, j'étais juste un fan borderline groupie. Pendant des années, je te croisais, j'étais comme genre yo bro, you're the best DJ man. Genre je me rappelle littéralement de moments love party 6 à 7 heures du matin et que tu joues le morceau de jazz le plus comme genre symphonique au monde et la réaction de la foule le jour qui se lève. J'ai beaucoup de mémoires comme ça, genre avec toi, Chris. Et c'est comme ça que je t'ai connu parce que je venais à chaque fois au fin de tes sets et genre j'étais le drunk guy, man. Oh man, that was so good, blah blah. Et c'est comme ça qu'on est devenus amis, quoi, tu vois. Pour dire que ce gars-là, il te jugera pas quoi qu'il arrive.
Génial. Mais je sais que tu as un grand amour pour le jazz. Comment c'est venu? C'est quoi tes hints et tout ça?
Just instinctive. Comme c'est ça, les aliments. Même si c'était un autre style de musique, les aliments que j'aimais beaucoup, j'ai trouvé dans le jazz. Puis après, like Madlib gets a lot of credit, of course, parce que il mettait pas juste les samples dans ses chansons, il parlait les noms des artistes. So t'es là, puis avant Wikipédia ou des gros top 10
un
ou
morceau
whatever,
comme Jazz Cat, par exemple.
Oui, Jazz Cat 1 and 2. Puis là, t'as 50 ans de knowledge dans 6 minutes.
Définitivement. Moi aussi, je suis une grande fan de Madlib. C'est
vraiment lui qui a aidé beaucoup, beaucoup. Comme que c'est intimidating au début. Il y a beaucoup de noms. Tu les connais pas. Tu rentres chez des magasins de disques, il y a tellement de musique, tu sais pas où commencer. Puis après, tu écoutes des chansons comme ça, puis tout de suite, tu as des références. Puis après ça, tu vois la réaction des gens quand tu rentres au HMV, tu demandes du Sun Ra, puis le gars est comme... C'est pas du jazz, ça.
Parce que t'as travaillé au HMV, je crois. Hein?
Non, j'ai essayé. J'ai essayé.
Oh, moi, j'ai travaillé là-bas.
Mais tu veux nous raconter l'anecdote? Pourquoi tu t'es pas fait...
Ouais. Parce que j'ai appliqué, j'étais assez jeune, j'ai appliqué. Je pense que j'avais 16 ans, au centre-ville. Puis j'avais je voulais travailler dans le hip-hop, que je connaissais le hip-hop. C'était my prime musical knowledge at the time. Puis il dit, on n'a pas des positions en hip-hop, on a des positions en jazz and world music. I was like...
World music.
Yeah, world music. I was like, OK. Puis j'ai eu une interview avec le gérant of the section, puis il était pas fin. He's like, what's your favorite music? And I didn't say the right names, you know? So
Qu'est-ce que tu as dit?
Non, j'ai dit... Tu sais, j'ai essayé Easy, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, Sun Ra. Puis quand j'ai dit Sun Ra, le gars a vraiment comme juste flip, like, non, ça c'est pas du jazz.
What?
Straight up.
Mais peux-tu nous parler de Sun Ra pour les gens qui le connaissent pas?
C'est un musicien américain, mais qui dit qu'il vient de notre planète. Et je pense qu'il a tellement étudié les effets et les comme, caractéristiques de toutes les planètes qu'il vient des autres planètes aussi. Comme il peut faire... il y a des chansons qui s'appellent Jupiter, Venus. Puis c'est vraiment le feeling et le vibe. C'est pas le seul, mais c'est la personne qui a nous laissé le plus d'informations. Il y a personne qui a laissé tellement d'informations de découvrir et étudier et découvrir que lui. Pour moi, c'est un des plus importants musiciens de jazz et philosophers des dernières 100 ans.
Donc, si tu aurais du Kenny G, tu aurais eu ta job, en fait, quoi. Sun Ra, c'était...
Wow, c'est fou, ça.
Je sais même pas si Kenny G a des bonnes chansons. I never went there.
Je sais pas non plus, mais si tu vas dans... Je me rappelle, je sais pas si maintenant c'est toujours le cas, mais je me rappelle il y a quelques années, j'avais regardé comme artistes jazz les plus populaires et sur iTunes, c'était le premier nom, je crois, si c'était le plus populaire. Je sais pas s'ils sont corrigés maintenant parce que même iTunes, au bout d'un moment, Corpo Gringo s'adapte à la situation, tu vois. Ouais. Mais ouais, je me rappelle à l'époque, j'étais comme genre, waouh, iTunes, je vais pas trop te prendre au sérieux côté jazz, quoi.
Non. Ben, c'est pas iTunes qui décide, là, c'est les gens qui écoutent ça.
Ouais, non, c'est vrai.
On peut pas oublier ça.
Mais parlant de ça, de comment les gens écoutent la musique, je sais que, étant une fan de records, de record shop, je vois que c'est comme un cultural center. Comment toi, tu vois ça, comme avoir un lieu comme ça où est-ce que les gens peuvent acheter de la musique puis découvrir ensemble?
Well, c'est un place où tu dois pas nécessairement aller parce que tu cherches la musique, puis il y a quelque chose à trouver, si c'est les images, le design ou rencontrer des autres gens, ou même juste être capable d'être dans un lieu dans ta ville qui, peut-être si c'était une autre boutique ou un bureau, you wouldn't have access to it. Mm-hmm. So, le record store, c'est juste de donner un peu comme un centre de culte, like a church for music, though.
C'est vrai que ton magasin a un petit côté barbershop.
Ouais, mais c'est un côté comme I'm not in it to be like the record dealer. C'est un boutique, là. It's a store. It's like a space.
People meet there, yeah.
It's a space. Yeah.
Genre, moi, je sais que si je suis dans le Myland maintenant, il y a des bonnes chances que l'endroit où j'ai bu le plus de café ces dernières années, c'est à l'arrière de la Rama.
À l'arrière de la Rama, oui.
Ouais, et que, genre, à cette heure-ci, genre, la majorité que je passe dans ton magasin, j'achète pas de vinyle. Ou des fois, je dis, genre, qu'est-ce que je dois écouter, Chris? Ou tu joues quelque chose et c'est ça que j'achète. Genre, je vais plus tellement comme diguer et genre, je vais pas tellement chercher des disques. J'achète de la musique parce que je suis déjà là et en un premier temps, je suis juste venu dire allô. Souvent, il y a comme un ami que j'ai pas vu depuis longtemps et il y a des gens que je vois plus souvent à la Rama que dans la vraie vie ou dans des soirées ou à l'extérieur de chez moi, quoi.
Ouais, c'est comme quand j'ai travaillé, j'étais au fin du vinyle. Je réalise que des places comme ça aide des gens à avoir une meilleure qualité de vie dans la ville. Parce qu'il y a des places à visiter. Et c'est funded by the music sales. So another thing to appreciate music and records for, c'est la raison que Spotify doesn't have like a spot on the corner where you can go hang out with your friends. Yep. It's like, je comprends, but a lot of these businesses, leur but, c'est juste de faire le plus d'argent possible. Et with record stores, quand c'est petit, c'est fun. It's like, t'es tellement occupé and you're so full of goodness, you don't even notice that you're not really making any money. You just keep doing it because c'est fulfilling. And il y a des autres choses autour de ça. T'as les gens, quand tu vois des gens grandir dans leur goût, pas grandir, mais changer, avoir des cycles, ça t'apprend beaucoup sur la psychologie des gens, les petits détails. Là. Tu commences à comprendre les gens mieux, voir des patterns aussi. And it's not like a bad thing. It's actually a nice thing to see. That like we all have a lot of little things in common, kinks,
Musical kinks.
Musical kinks.
What type of musical kinks people have?
Well, so in a record store, there's a few musical kinks. Or maybe not just music or handling kinks too. Like, I guess it's in anything in life. Like some people will really like to just like, sometimes they'll flip through records and they're not even looking at the records. They're like kind of looking away, but their hands are still going.
That's what I'm doing here.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah,
that's weird. To me, it's like ta 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 ta. You know, there's a move of like, je peux même pas t'expliquer. Je peux même pas t'expliquer le move vite là, tu sais. Mais on regarde quand même.
Or there's like sometimes it's the, and I mean I understand it, but it's the people who are looking for something. They're telling you what they're looking for, but that's not what they're looking for. Actually, they don't know what they're looking for, but they don't want to say they don't know what they're looking for. They're trying. It's like.
Ils te donnent les quelques mots clés pour savoir, genre, tu sais de quoi je parle. Les connaisseurs disent ça comme ça.
I see them.
Ou j'imagine le classique aussi, c'est les gens qui viennent te chantonner une chanson. Ouais, je connais pas le titre, mais ça fait comme genre.
Le cover, il a l'air de ça, puis là, la musique, elle sonne de même.
Ouais, moi, je vais essayer de faire un setup où comme si quelqu'un hums a tune, like, je dis, oh wait, je pense que j'ai cette tune-là, and I pull out a record, and it's them humming the tune, and I'm like, is that the one you were looking for?
L'Inception.
Ouais, gros Inception, comme, sais, un Serato record with a little mic hidden or something. Mais,
Wow!
non, I don't have time for that.
Et est-ce que tu sens que la Rama est vraiment devenue comme, bon, dans un certain style de musique, je dirais, on a quand même des très bons magasins de disques à Montréal depuis des années, tu sais, mais que tu as quand même ramené quelque chose de plus... comme un pèlerinage à Montréal, que si tu cherches des disques, il y a des bonnes chances que tu vas finir à la Rama. Moi, je sais que je travaille dans la restauration, comme tu as travaillé toi aussi pendant des années. Je sais qu'il y a souvent des gens qui visitent la ville et qui aiment la musique, et tu peux regarder ces codes, tu les reconnais assez facilement. Ouais. Et souvent, c'est « on m'a recommandé d'aller à la Rama. Oh, tu connais ce disquaire, la Rama ?» Et où je vois des gens dans la rue parler de ça. J'ai voyagé comme en Europe et porter des t-shirts La Rama et que les gens m'interpellent dans la rue. Donc, tu es vraiment devenu comme emblématique à Montréal quand on parle de musique et surtout des styles underground.
Ouais, c'est un plaisir comme un chef dans un bon restaurant, c'est juste de partager qu'est-ce qu'on aime, tu sais, the sum of our experience un peu. And learning more every day. Tu sais. Je suis très influencé par les gens qui viennent aussi, c'est ça qui est cool. Tu sais. Si les gens viennent et me demandent un certain style de musique que peut-être j'ai pas pris, wasn't my attention, je vais faire des études et je vais voir où je peux trouver my vibe in that world. Tu sais. Mais yeah, that's what it is.
Wow.
Share it.
C'est comme un peu des institutions comme Rush Hour.
Yes, 100%.
Complètement.
Ça, c'est mes... Yeah, Rush Hour, Clone, Rub-a-Dub. Ça, they're impressive parce que c'est comme underground. C'est vraiment le seul medium ground qui existe. C'est vraiment impressionnant à voir. Mais under that, il y a beaucoup de petites boutiques un peu partout en Europe, en Amérique du Nord.
Qui font vivre le truc.
Japon et tout.
Exact, parce que...
Et plein que je connais pas. Like, every day I discover a new one. I'm like, it feels good to know there's like all these little zones. Parce que c'est pas juste vendre la musique, c'est aussi, quand tu vends en ville, t'as un place à commencer. Tu arrives, t'as encore... Des fois, les gens arrivent au shop with their luggage. Like, I mean, not this year because of COVID, but the last 2 years, like, sometimes it would be like, people pulling up with their luggage, like, okay, what am I doing?
Ouais, durant tous les événements et festivals aussi, il y a beaucoup de DJ qui sont en tournée, qui s'arrêtent au magasin.
Ouais.
C'est carrément une zone.
Oui, ouais, c'est pour ça que je parle de pèlerinage, tu vois. On s'arrête à la Rama, tu sais.
Définitivement, tu sais, avoir voyagé beaucoup avant COVID, tu sais. Ouais. J'allais souvent dans plein de magasins de disques dans mes voyages, puis c'est vrai que c'est là que tu découvres des gens qui ont des intérêts similaires, ou tu demandes au owner, hey, elle est où la bonne musique, où est-ce que je peux écouter des live shows, etc. Puis je pense que c'est important.
Manger, qu'est-ce que je peux visiter, c'est comme... Souvent, des gens qui ont des shops, c'est des gens de la ville, là, puis ils vivent dans la ville, so they're good people to ask. So you start there. You know.
Puis même étant un gars de la ville aussi, t'as grandi à Montréal, t'es né à Montréal, d'origine portugaise. Comment c'est pour toi de voir ta ville se transformer aussi rapidement, là, si on peut utiliser le gros mot sale, gentrification? How do you feel about this? Because me too, I grew up here and I'm like, damn, what did they do to my city? But what do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, it's a pattern like everywhere that you look, and actually a lot of places have it, I guess, worse, but that doesn't mean I want to be like that. I always, I remember when there was the student strikes. For example, I understood something about people's mentality that year because I had friends visiting from Ontario, Toronto, and they're like, man, you guys already got the cheapest school. Like, why are you always complaining? I go, look, just because, you pay more doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to figure out how to pay less. That's like you saying that, like, oh, my dad only hits me a few times, like 10 times. And I go, oh, my dad only hits me 2 times. That's great. Cool. I was like, no, man, you got to stop that abuse, period. Yeah. It's not just because we have less than you that we're winning or something. It's like, no, we have ideas of what we want to do. So in the city here, it happened a little less fast. So that's why maybe it's not as bad as other places, but it's inevitable.
You can stop capitalism.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but what you can do is motivate your friends to do their thing so that we occupy the spaces. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what I tried to do with the shop. It's like, I used to just smoke weed and play music too. I wanted to just chill, work my job and do all that. But I was like, okay, I need to try to not only do what I like to do, I need to try to occupy a space so that doesn't just get accumulated into into the total wealth of this other machine, you know what I mean? So if if everybody really takes a chance on what they believe in and they occupy a space, then you'll see this city that like, yes, okay, some quote unquote gentrification or change will happen, but it'll happen slower and in respect to the inhabitants, and then they can have the time to be part of it too, and then it doesn't feel like you wake up one day and you're in a strange place, which had happened even with my mother, who was living in Villeray, like on St. Dominic in my grandma's house. And the neighbors, like our neighbors who were our best friends passed away, and then they sold and this and that. And then my mom's like, man, it's like from one year to the next, my neighbors don't even look me in the eye anymore. And she's like, I understand the prices go up and things got to change, but that, I think that's what really hurts is when you wake up in your neighborhood and you don't recognize your neighborhood.
You lose the human connection.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because change and new businesses coming in, it's inevitable. People are trying to hustle and make moves. It's just like you don't even, like, come on, you have to say hi to your neighbor. And especially like you're in somebody's neighborhood, they're kind of the custodians. Like you think it's cool to live there. It's cool for a reason.
Yes. Oh my God.
It's cool because other people held it down.
Exactly.
Parce qu'il y a eu de la vie avant toi
ici. Exactly.
So like
I feel this for Villeray because my uncle used to live there, like probably 20 years ago. Tu vois, Henri Julien et Jean Talon, tu sais, pas loin du Tim Hortons.
It's right next to my dad's house. Yeah.
Exactly. And that neighborhood, like la rue de Castelnau, I mean, you go there now, like the street is closed, fine, it's cool, but like, I don't see like the neighborhood as it was,
Yeah.
C'est vraiment plus la même chose dans le sens d'esprit, les gens qui se regardent, qui se disent bonjour.
I would say that it's not that bad there as other places I've been, but yeah, I see what you're saying. There is a bit less of the conviviality. The one last stronghold on the Casino is there's a lot of little Portuguese social clubs. Like there's Greek social clubs, like all kinds of social clubs. So you'll be on the street and it's all kind of calm and hip and da-da. And then you just hear like these like 6 drunk, like, and sometimes I walk by and it's like my cousin or my uncle. And I'm like, and I love them, but I'm just letting them have their moment, you know what I'm saying? Mais ça c'est gone. C'est le dernier stronghold sur ces rues-là. Mais, I mean, people want to live in nice areas. They want to have good lives. I completely understand. It's just like, try to understand other people too and
les gens qui étaient là avant. Puis...
Yeah, and say what's up to the strange neighbor,
Aussi, je voulais te demander aussi, tu sais, c'est... Déjà, tu ouvres un magasin de disques de vinyle dans ces dernières années, ce qui est un petit peu comme de l'autosuicide, un petit peu. Et après, même si tu arrives à quand même, t'as créé quand même une communauté, des gens qui gravitent autour du magasin et qui viennent pas seulement pour la musique. Je vois dans la ville entière, tout le monde porte des t-shirts La Rama, comme moi aujourd'hui, donc allez vous équiper. Donc on a comme plusieurs collections. Moi je sais il y a carrément, je me rappelle, genre mon premier... il y a 3 ans, je suis allé en France et tous mes sweats et hoodies, c'était que des hoodies La Rama,
Merci.
tu vois.
Merci.
T'as comme...
I love you to the point that I visited your homeland.
Hey man, this is
I
it,
went
man.
to Toulon,
Ce gars-là, il connaît Toulon, s'il te
I
plaît.
went to
Donc,
Toulon with John.
Hey, Toulon, donnez-moi les clés de la ville. C'est à Montréal, je représente à mort.
I know
okay?
Toulon because of him, and I went.
This is it.
South of France.
Et donc t'as quand même un, tu sais, quand on pense à la Rama, parfois je connais des gens qui ont acheté tout ton gear mais qui achètent pas un seul vinyle par exemple, quoi, tu sais, donc t'as trouvé quand même des moyens de supporter ton magasin, entre autres selon le gear.
De façon parallèle, ouais.
Ouais, tu sors de la musique aussi.
Les événements, you have no choice.
Donc durant cette période post-Covid, on va dire, même si on est encore un peu dedans, comment tu vois les choses en matière de renouveler et de changer un peu la vision des choses, de comment avoir du succès dans ton business et avoir des gens qui continuent à venir même s'il n'y a pas autant d'achalandage. Les DJ ne jouent pas, donc visiblement ils achètent moins de vinyles. Toutes ces choses-là qui ont un effet boule de neige sur toi, genre comment tu fais un petit peu pour rester fluide et à niveau?
Ouais, dans la musique, qu'est-ce qui est intéressant, c'est tu dois pas changer le format, c'est plus le style.
Les habitudes de consommer changent littéralement tous les 3, 4 ans, 5 ans, tu vois.
Ça change à chaque 2 mois. Là. Ça prend pas beaucoup de temps. Mais qu'est-ce qui est cool, parce que ça change tellement, il y a un retour très souvent. So, c'est comme something that's in style might go out of style, but 6 months later it's back in style. It doesn't take years anymore. Like sur une petite échelle, ça retourne très vite. C'est cool. It's cool. It's kind of like Monday comes every 7 days. It's like, you know, c'est... Et j'adore ça à ce niveau. Mais avec COVID, c'est sûr que j'ai compris qu'avec les clubs qui ferment, il y a moins de excitement behind, like, tu sais, les 12 pouces du techno, house, des nouveaux trucs. Parce que les gens n'ont pas l'opportunité de le jouer pour la public.
Ouais, tu veux pas jouer ça chez toi, quoi.
Ouais, non, il y a des gens qui...
C'est ça, qui vivent, qui écoutent juste ça.
Oui, puis the cool thing about having a store, c'est que tu rencontres des gens dehors de ton cercle complètement. Et c'est... I'm addicted to that. J'étais toujours addicted de comme rencontrer des gens ou connaître des choses dehors de qu'est-ce que je connaissais déjà. Tu sais, je veux explorer. J'ai rencontré beaucoup de gens qui ont comme leur petit setup chez eux dans le sous-sol. And like, they do their little DJ set. And I love those people. Nice. C'est comme vraiment des passionnés. Puis c'est ça leur activité. C'est pas juste du Netflix and like, you know, just like chilling. Leur downtime, c'est comme, yo, I go into my basement, crazy setup. I'm in my corner, close the doors, and I'm just like mixing like... Et j'ai plein de vidéos sur mon téléphone, les gens qui m'envoient des petites vidéos dans leur setup, tu sais.
Nice.
Puis c'est... And nobody knows, like, not nobody knows those people, but like within the community of like clubs and the music, but I get to have relationships with these people, and it's much bigger and more widespread than most people would believe.
Wow,
and it's very, ça. Yeah, in terms of interest and love and appreciation, you know, there's a lot of people out there. They're just in their own little bubble, you know. One guy he takes care of one of the like les parcs nationaux de Quebec. And you know, so he goes, chops the trees, does this thing, goes home, listens to like minimal techno. Makes sense. Super nice dude.
Wow, mais c'est ça aussi, c'est qu'on a tellement cette espèce de vision du DJ cool, tu vois, aussi dans cette espèce de monde sur les réseaux sociaux aussi, là. Mais pourtant, il y a des amoureux de la musique.
Mais ça, c'est une partie des choses. Mais ouais, les amoureux de la musique, les fous de musique, the collectors, like, if it wasn't all for them, if it wasn't for everybody, you would have nothing. So you gotta like consider and appreciate that. Like, some people are just collectors. Some people are deep listeners. Some are involved. Some are in the circle. Some are out of the circle. But it's like, si c'était pas pour le total, like, you wouldn't be able to even put music out. Nobody would listen to it or get it. So shout out to everybody in their own little way of how they actually participate and enjoy music.
Puis tu sais, pour les auditeurs qui connaissent pas vraiment la culture du vinyle, tu sais, si t'avais vraiment à je sais pas comment dire, si t'avais à prendre quelqu'un à le rentrer dans cette espèce de secte là de fans de vinyle, qu'est-ce que tu leur dirais pour les convaincre de join the circle of vinyl, like
comme join, even if it's like first, second or third degree, just join. C'est comme si t'as des amis avec des disques, va chez eux et dire comme en place de comme, je sais pas, checker des vidéos sur YouTube, comme pas d'écran, pas de, tu sais, juste écoute, you know, comme si c'est pas toi qui l'achète, si t'as un ami dans ton cercle qui fait ça, ou même si tu veux pas acheter des vinyles et rentrer dans tout ce monde, c'est correct, mais prends du temps de vraiment écouter de la musique sans des autres distractions, comme vraiment, tu sais, du deep listening is a thing. If you Google it, you'll hear about it. You know, that's I feel like something maybe people don't consider doing, like putting on a really calm, nice piece of music, turn the lights off, like, and not just go to sleep, like lay down, listen to music in the dark. It's kind of creepy, it's kind of freaky, it's psychedelic sometimes.
Ouais, faut le sentir.
Mais it's good, c'est bon. Ou a little candle or something, you know.
Yeah, a little way, no?
Yeah. Yeah, a little like, yeah, do that, and then, ouais, si jamais les choses s'alignent que t'as de l'équipement or whatever, essaie, try it out, see how you feel about listening to it, because it's hard for me to understand never having had the experience, because I've had it all the time.
You haven't since a long time, since you're 13, huh?
Well, yeah, or even before that, like, it's just like that was always a way of listening to music, like this like physical like, you know, action reaction.
Because we can have a relationship with the record on its own, yeah.
It's got history, it's got germs on it and everything. It's got smells, you know. Sometimes,
That's true.
Like I'll go get, like somebody will bring me records in a bag and like you open up the bag and it smells like Nag Champa, you know. You're like, okay, I know what you're burning at home. Yeah, because paper absorbs smells. Like I've almost got in trouble at the border.
Ouais, en plus toi tu te retrouves dans des basements bizarres, aller rechercher des collections de gens qui sont pas descendus dans leur grenier depuis 20 ans. Donc mais tu trouves des perles aussi là-dedans. Je t'ai déjà vu revenir avec des collections de fous.
Des perles.
C'est de l'archéologie dans le fond.
Complètement.
Un peu de ça aussi, ouais. Mm-hmm. Un peu de playing God too. Sometimes I'm like, this record doesn't need to exist anymore. I've seen it too much. You are going to the recycling.
C'est l'heure de détruire et reconstruire.
Ouais. Dean Martin, I'm done with you. C'est comme Barbra Streisand puis Kris Guilty. Ciao bye. Like c'est assez. Là. Il y a trop. There's too many.
Mais en parlant de ça, genre de ton amour pour la poussière et de passer dans des endroits bizarres, je sais que t'as un amour profond pour le graffiti. Mm-hmm. Quand je viens au magasin, t'es toujours en train de griffonner genre sur un petit papier. Tu fais tes graphiques pour ton label ou aussi pour tes partenaires aussi. Je pense à Bienvenue Records, que tu fais aussi tout le merch et comme tout ce qui est logo. Il y a toujours ce petit esprit genre je viens de prendre un morceau de pierre et de le graver contre la fenêtre. T'as comme un esthétique un peu vandale, un peu sophistiqué. Donc tu veux nous parler un petit peu de ça un petit peu. Je sais que t'étais comme aussi très présent aussi au début de Mook Life. Ouais. Donc tu sais c'est comme beaucoup de choses qui parlent de visuel et je sais pas, je pense que c'est comme aussi une grosse partie de ta personnalité que les gens réalisent pas tellement ça à ton sujet.
Mais le graffiti, c'est, si je pense, j'ai besoin encore du temps à repenser plein de choses pour mieux comprendre pourquoi. Mais avec le graffiti, je réalise maintenant quand je pense à ma jeunesse, comme être, par exemple, souvent voyager, c'est dans le char avec tes parents ou avec tes parents. Et j'ai eu des memories de comme my first like interfacing with the world outside of my family is we would drive, you see buildings, you see parks, but then like you stop at the red light and there's like a tag on the wall. And I'm like, holy, like that's not supposed to be there, but that's there. So as a young kid, like your brain starts going,
complètement.
Whoa, there's like other people out there and they're like leaving notes and messages.
C'est comme une société secrète.
Oui, parce que c'est pas juste... parce que avant that you get older and you realize, yes, somebody had to lay the bricks and somebody had to pave the roads. This is engineering and all this. It's more complex. You realize, the presence of humans, you know? But like for some reason, when you see, like when you write on the walls at home, you get in trouble. So when you see it in the street, you're like, whoa, people doing things, you know, like going through, passing like a layer of something that we're not supposed to pass. So that was like... It sparked in my head right away. And à Villeray, il y avait beaucoup des early crews, like Park X and Villeray had some really early Montreal crews outside of the downtown core, which I didn't go to very often as a kid, you know. So I remember seeing like tags and like I was like so in love like with tags on walls. And I know people hate it. That's what's funny. The things people usually hate the most about graffiti is what I love.
Yeah, that's why. C'est pour ça que j'insiste sur le côté vandale, quoi. Tu sais, c'est comme visuellement, ça se voit là. Tu sais que c'est l'esthétique que tu vas pour ça là, tu vois.
Oui. Et je comprends, c'est la propriété des gens et ci puis ça, mais je parle comme un enfant qui repense à ça. C'était exciting. It was very exciting to see.
Puis dans le fond, quand t'étais petit, tu t'intéressais à la culture hip-hop et tout ça, vu que t'avais mentionné au début, ouais.
Oui, au point que j'ai mon meilleur ami au secondaire, c'était ma première année, a guy named Hussein. And on a comme hunt down sur, je sais pas comment, peut-être c'était Craigslist au début, mais même pas, ça fait 20 ans. Non, c'est 20 years ago. So, ou peut-être at a record store, I asked, mais j'ai trouvé un gars avec un MPC, because we wanted to make a beat for a song, our own song to perform at like the talent show at school. And yeah, we were like, tu sais, on savait pas c'est quoi produce un beat. So we hunted down somebody with an MPC that could help us produce the beat. And we found the guy, and I wish I could remember his name, but he was a DJ in Montreal. If you're listening to this and you remember like these 3 kids coming to Snowden Metro.
C'est comme ça que l'histoire a commencé.
Ouais. And I found the sample. C'était a song by Juan Gabriel, who's like a famous, I believe he's Mexican singer. And we made the song. And there's a video of the recording. I don't know where it is.
We're gonna find it.
Yeah, man. If somebody, I would actually... I would love to see it. I just remember how nervous I was.
Is it on YouTube?
No, it's not. It's not, but it exists. But yeah, what were we talking about? Yeah, that's hip-hop.
Yeah.
Hip-hop was because of the record stores, I think, too, because I started working... My first job was au centre-ville. Je travaillais au Chez Cora à 13 ans.
Oh.
13 ans dans la cuisine à Chez Cora. So Stanley et St. Catherine.
Oh, I remember.
Remember that one?
This is that old, yeah? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was there, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Puis Taboo Records was above Off the Hook.
Oui.
And I used to go to Taboo Records above Off the Hook. And I think my hip-hop involvement is because at home, all my records were disco, like 90% disco. That's what I had because that's what I inherited from my father. Disco, and I liked a bit of the rock. I got into rock a bit, but like if I listened to Led Zeppelin, it was like Since I've Been Loving You, which is their bluesiest track. So it was always like blues, funk, soul, disco, jazz. So then when I get to Taboo, I guess I just got approached by the hip hop guy first, trying to sell me some records, right? He's like, "What's up, kid? What are you looking for? You need that new Far Side?" You know? So I was like, "Yeah, hip hop." And I got into that. And then the house guy would come over and be like, "Yo, but you should listen to this too." And I'm like, "Oh." And I was like 13, like, where do I spend my $20? Like on a house record or a hip hop record? So I started going back and forth between the two. And yeah, I love house music, man. I really do.
Yeah, what makes you love house music that much? Is it the flow, the soul?
It's everything. I mean, it never stops. I'm a big house collector. Like I'll collect 12 inches more than albums, especially these days. And it just never ends. There's always, I just can't believe how you can have the same kind of structure, but always get different feelings out of it. It's very impressive. Like when you find something that has that much versatility, you have to understand its power and like have respect for it, because it really is like, 4/4 beat, but then it's everything else that the person who's making the music adds in that makes it what it is. And
who's your favorite producer or cities that do house for the people who want suggestions from you?
Well, a good way to see it is like the classic way it's explained. You have like a trinity. Like most major things in the world have a trinity involved.
Holy Trinity.
Yeah, the Holy Trinity. So you have Chicago, New York, and Detroit, and they all represent
a sound.
They all represent a sound, a style. To Detroit is like, it's funny because Detroit house to me is like some of my favorite house, but Detroit's like always associated to the techno and electro. Chicago is kind of like it's like dirty disco. It's like just nasty, powerful, like just really wild. Chicago, I think you'd have to say is the wildest of the three in terms of the music that came from there. When you think about house, like it's nasty, like in the best way possible. Like that's all I want to hear, like chaos, controlled chaos. And then New York kind of was like, yeah, soulful and clean,
more sophisticated,
and anthems and all that. Yeah, well, yeah, sophisticated in like a designer, like a more designer way.
It's like more polish.
Yeah, Whoa. Detroit is like the deep spiritual, the deep soul of it, and then Chicago is like the wild, like crazy, like amazing, bang the box, like. Just like
Dance Mania, big clap.
Wow, but tu sais, en entendant parler comme ça, je sais que t'es un grand fan de, de black music. And, tu sais, on sait très bien, là, c'est comme le sujet en ce moment, tout ça. Puis on parle beaucoup de allyship, from white people being allies and stuff like that. And, tu sais, moi, je te considère même pas comme un allié. Je te considère straight up like a brother, an anti-racist brother, tu sais. Que t'as pas besoin d'expliquer, t'es déjà dans la vague de bien faire les choses. Puis comment tu conseillerais tes amis, là, à devenir meilleurs?
Like
une petite responsabilité sur tes épaules, Chris.
Non, mais je sais pas.
No, I understand.
Non, je capte.
How to talk about race?
Like, how would I best say it? Like, just be it, Like, just be it. Like, listen, take it in. Like, why would you want to be mean to people? Why do you want to, even I sometimes can be mad at somebody, and even that already, like, it pisses me off that I'm mad, or, you know, I'll judge somebody, but not judge them because of anything in particular. Just be like, oh, that person listens to indie rock. You know,
I do that
and
too.
I'm being completely honest. That's
I do that too.
You know, when I'm like that, and I always try to fight that. So it's like, come on, you know, we gotta just partake in it. Like, stop thinking so much. Feel it. I mean, that's the only way. If we all feel the same, you can't fake the funk. You can't fake the feeling. You can like make up a bunch of words and excuses and things, but like, since my youngest moments, like how some people will be like, oh, records, that's cool. I'm like, well, from my youngest moment, that was the way I made communion with my music.
Yes.
Like and the music I listen to, I've been making communion with that my whole life. So it's hard to separate, and I don't want to. I feel like when I listen to the music, when you listen to, especially like the one that's the most obvious is reggae. Like, it's really people trying to make, like, how do we make this whole world one blood, one nation? And it's through the music. If we're all not, you know, if we're baptized in the music, communion with the music, then we all have our the same thing inside of us, the same feeling.
Yes.
Then some people decide to like take on the physical look of a certain type of people. Then, you know, you're like, ooh, like, why don't you just like listen to the lyrics, listen to what the words are saying, take that into account, try to get the cultural context of the thing too, you know.
Est-ce que tu te sens un peu comme... moi, je te vois comme ça, en tout cas. Je t'ai toujours vu comme ça, un peu comme une espèce de guide spirituel.
Oui. Because I feel like you take music from this spiritual way, you know?
Ouais, and I really... Tu prends vraiment les gens par la main, tu vois ce que je veux dire? Genre, même dans tes soirées, like, even in the middle of a rave, like, you took me some places, mais c'était comme, genre, délibéré. Et, tu sais, genre, pour t'avoir vu beaucoup jouer... t'aimes vraiment marcher sur la ligne entre le obvious et un peu le mystique un petit peu. Donc t'as vraiment cette façon de
He's an
genre,
Aquarius.
Ouais. Non, mais de comme genre prendre quelque chose de ok, dans le club, oui, tu t'attends sûrement à écouter de la musique avec des grosses lignes de basse, avec du BPM un peu plus à 120, mais tu sais comme genre assimiler les contradictions de ces attentes aussi et aller complètement à l'opposé et nous prendre à contre-pied à chaque fois. Donc c'est pour ça que je parle de... Il y a beaucoup de spiritualité dans ta musique, il y a beaucoup d'élévation, il y a beaucoup de... le fait que tu passes d'un style musical à l'autre, mais tout est très cohésif. Donc c'est pour ça que je te dis, est-ce que toi tu te sens comme ça en espèce de guide spirituel et de prendre un peu les gens par la main, un peu de les amener dans ton monde à toi en fait, quoi.
Je pense la meilleure façon pour moi de comprendre qu'est-ce que je fais, and I don't know what I do, you know, is that like I try to, comme avec la boutique c'est comme, it's the music I was buying anyways, it's music I was searching for. I make that available.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but Phil Jagrin a dit la meilleure chose sur toi quand t'as ouvert ton magasin. Il disait que t'étais comme un junkie qui s'était trouvé ça, tu sais que genre never get high on your own supply. Genre,
I get high on my supply.
C'était l'opposé de toi.
I get high on my supply.
Quand il a dit ça, j'étais comme oh my god, c'est la plus belle chose que j'ai entendue sur toi. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, listen, those commandments don't apply to my life. Like I get really into, because again, I have a reason to get high off my supply. I get to share it, right?
Definitely.
And also, I mean, I didn't make the music, right? So the least I can do is like in my role in presenting the music, like what do we do with it? So I guess you try to put in, I try to challenge myself when I play, but also respect the room, you know? And I like psychedelic experiences. I like mystical stuff.
Yeah, but tu n'hésiterais pas à aller pousser la limite en fait.
Non, mais pas toujours.
Pour nous amener là, tu sais.
Ouais, when it's right, you know, maybe because you were there, I felt the vibe. I was like, okay, I have people on my
team. Like,
team.
yo, here's my number one fan.
Well, I have people on my team, and then other times, and then also, it was very painful. But like a lot of times, I just didn't take the gigs. You know, okay, we need to make money, make a living, whatever. But I remember getting to a point where I was playing at a supper club, and I was so unhappy that like I almost felt like I'm just gonna stop. Like I had this point. I was like 26, and I was like, I think I'm just done DJing, you know, because like this doesn't feel.
You felt like you went full circle at the time.
No, it just didn't feel good. Like you go, you do something that normally you love, and you're doubting everything you're doing because the crowd or the manager is just like there's like a product they expected, and they're imposing you delivering that product, and here you are like trying to like discover what else is potential in the room, you know.
Definitely.
Like add. You know, I thought you invited me.
Suffocating the energy.
C'est ça. I thought you invited me is definitely the thing. Like it can sound pretentious for some who don't DJ, but it is. You're a selector. I'm a selector.
Yeah.
Julio is a selector too. We have, you know, a big knowledge of music that can, you know, fit a vibe. People can join us in that vibe. We're still, you know, giving that spiritual thing. I feel this is very.
But especially when you go somewhere, you're invited, you're going to check out where you're being invited, and you're going to come with respect. So you're going to try to be appropriate to the environment. And then on top of that, you still are going to like say the things that you're going to say to me about what I did. Then I'm just being disrespected because you can't see that. Or you're not, the person is not as developed as you would like them to be, so that they realize that you've actually like conformed a bit to the place to show some respect, but are still offering yourself. I mean, that's the best thing you can get from somebody. If you invite somebody and they do that, you're like, thank you. Like, not only did you bring what you got to bring, you considered the place I asked you to come to. Like, that is, to me, that's a performance. That's like the ultimate level of the thing, where the person can still be themselves while like respecting the venue or the event that they're invited to play. And at a certain point, I was like, oh my God, I almost just quit DJing when I can just quit this shit. Like, why? Like, okay, it's $400. Yes, I need the money, but I'll just do something else. And that's when I started really working in the restaurants, because I was like, it's service, it's wild, but like I get to just take what I want to do and do what I want to do, so that I don't compromise and I don't get, even worse, completely fed up and quit the thing I love the most because I associated to some bullshit. Like, just eliminate the bullshit from what you like and keep what you like about what you like. And then eventually open your own spot and book yourself. Yes.
Hey. But talk about restaurants. I remember that time you were at Joe Beef, and also aside of that, you like wine. You're a wine connoisseur.
I'm a wine.
There is nice bottle at the store.
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a connoisseur. It's just like enthusiast. Yes, love it. I think it's great, especially when it's good. But also, it's the mind of searching. It's just like I'll find out information. I'll figure it out quick. Like, I don't need to feel like I know everything. I just need to feel like I know. I'll do what I got to do to know what you know.
Okay, yeah, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Ouais,
It's like,
c'est vrai. Il y a beaucoup de parallèles aussi entre genre producteurs de vin, d'où ça marche un peu comme genre les labels. C'est un peu comme les labels et les styles, etc.
Yeah, like this person played bass on that record and then did this record. And you're like, this winemaker
I can see that clearly.
Did a stage here and then went there. Yeah, it's fun. But I mean, now that I'm not in the restaurants, my brain's more music wise. But when I see it, I appreciate it. I like it.
But if you could combine it, question genre de fou, là. T'as le temps de réfléchir, but if you had a bottle of wine and a record. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well.
You know, they pair with food, but pair with
sure.
Yeah.
I'll just go with what I know, but like there's one winemaker I really like a lot. His name is Hervé Soul. Hervé Soul. I'm still trying to figure out why I like it so much. But it's like rich, you know. It's just nice that, especially with natural wine, tu vas dans les juicy stuff, c'est easy, c'est fun. Mais after some time of having them, you start finding more like maybe towards classic wines, but done with that philosophy and that style. And those are very impressive. Like, that's really good stuff. So his wine with something like, I'm trying to think quick. Something jazzy for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think what do we have recently. There's like this group from Australia. I forgot the name. Oh my God. Yeah, my memory's not good. I don't have a good memory.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm sorry.
Early,
but
early.
It's a group from Australia. Mr. Bongo just re-released it. They did a private press thing of it, and then they re-released it. But it's this kind of like library jazz funk. Like
Come get it at the store.
Yeah, I know I have it at the store. I
have no doubt you
I
get it at the store.
cannot believe
It's
that
okay. My memory too is very bad.
I'm sorry.
You're like, oh, name me your records. I'm like, I don't know. I just know, like, I can explain to you the vibes.
But that's why you have them, because you know your memory's not great. So if I have them, I won't forget them.
I never remember
Exactly.
any title.
I'm like, oh, okay, this is that.
I just gotta go look.
Exactly.
It's there. That's why I take the physical space to have them, so I don't have to take the mental space to remember them. I just know, I trust my style. I chose them. They're there.
Because I feel that's the thing too with digital DJing, you know? I feel like you have to memorize certain names, you know? Because it's digital. Then less than when it's on record, you have the physical thing, you know. Yeah.
Well, it's...
I mean, you're not against digital as well. Tu sors de la musique en digital, sur vinyle, quantité limitée, même en... C'est quoi que t'as sorti dernièrement? Je sais que t'as sorti un truc juste sur Bandcamp.
Well, we did the pre-sales for the first record we have on La Rama, and then Jean's Jean-Tellem's next one by Gabriel Ray.
Nice.
Gabriel.
Yeah. So we did like a little pre-sale, and you get like the one of the like the tracks right away with the pre-sale digitally, but the records are coming in like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Juste pour checker, on est à combien de temps là? Ok. On s'en fait encore 10 minutes, recommandations, etc. Si on peut.
Oui.
Ok.
Oui.
Enfin, je sais pas, qu'est-ce que t'en penses?
And congratulations to you guys. I love this. Thank you for having me.
It's for the city, man.
Yo, it's just the beginning, right?
Yeah. We're gonna...
Episode 4, baby.
I really would like if in the future, I hope you guys do commentary for things like like a parade, like the next like St. Patrick's Day parade. You guys have like those little boots, and you're like, just
it's coming.
Just talk trash.
Candyman. We're doing this for Candyman.
I can talk shit for days, man. It's not an issue for me.
Look, when to be full disclosure, at the record store when nobody's there, I listen to so much music that it's usually just podcasts all day. Like, and like I find myself now, I'll laugh because it's like I'll hear somebody run in and I'll run to the laptop, like pause it.
It's like they're gonna think I'm crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna think I'm crazy or I don't want to break the magic like Wizard of Oz. They should like put on the music. It's a record store. You know. No, but most of the time, you know.
You're like the Tooth Fairy.
No, but most of the time,
fairy godfather, Kris Guilty.
Yeah, it's this kind of stuff. Listening to people talk, it's nice. It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
go ahead. Sorry.
Do you have like any recommendation for us? Not necessarily music, but films, books.
Yeah, that's something we like to ask our guests.
Food. Oh, I had an interesting thing with food recently. Since COVID started, COVID thing, I realized, a lot of eating at home, a lot of cooking, all that, that's great. A lot of like kind of eating food that's just like the best version of like food, you know, like classics. And then recently I went to a restaurant and I had a more like fancy meal type thing for the first time in like a long time. And I was really happy about it. I was like, wow, there's like experiments in the flavors. It's kind of like, I forgot that like, wow, that's why those restaurants exist. Like there are people who are trying to like push the limits of taste combinations and all that. And I was like, wow. It made me appreciate both. Like just going to like Elan, that's like my favorite spot on Saint Denis in Beaubien, and having like a crepe, Vietnamese crepe, and bring your own bottle of wine. Like that is like once, twice a week. Or going to Pampuy and getting
shout out to Pampuy.
Yeah, and getting some good food. Going to Molina's on Park Avenue, getting my spanakopita. Going to Butterbloom, the little
Dédicace à Joanna.
Shout out Joanna,
man.
See, Joanna was on this like show.
Yeah, with Julio.
No, I did a section.
You did the section with her on Vice.
But she's been on another show since. I think.
She was on a show on Global or something. She needs to do more shows. Joanna.
Yeah,
she's hosting. I think, right? Like she's like
that's a host, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think.
Energy. Anyways, those things.
Joanna, you need to come on the show.
Yeah, Joanna has to come. Then I went to Vin Mon Lapin. That's my next to my place, and I was like, oh, this is good too. Like it's another. like it's another thing. I was like really happy. Anyways, those places that I'll mention, they're all good places. Otto Bistro on Mont Royal. Hiroshi.
Japanese?
Oh man, Hiroshi-san.
Talking about this, you just opened a restaurant too, right?
Well, I didn't open a restaurant.
I mean, you with other people
I'm
involved.
helping, people. I just, I want to make sure the music's nice and the sound system is right.
So what's the name of the place?
It's called Fleur et Cadeau.
Fleur et Cadeau, c'est Saint-Urbain et la Gauchetière, il me semble.
Yeah, it's in Chinatown.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's still like slow, but it'll be like easy breezy, drink, nice music.
You know the music's gonna be tight.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go over for a date with my boo-boo there, yeah.
Et toi, Aïcha,
Glad to
qu'est-ce que tu nous recommandes?
Moi, qu'est-ce que je recommande? Laisse-moi réfléchir, là. On va couper ça.
Désolé, je t'ai pris par surprise, hein?
Ouais, tu m'as pris par surprise. Bon, OK. Moi, j'ai une recommandation. C'est l'album de Dimira, qui vient juste de sortir sur Touching Bass, qui est un label de mes amis à Londres. Vraiment excellent. You love jazzy stuff.
Yeah.
They're putting out records, actually.
Oh.
I could connect you with...
Connect me, please.
Yeah, with Errol, because they put out a record with that. And also, Liv, she put out a record, too. And she's part of, connected with other friends from labels in Oakland called Odd Society Records. Mm-hmm. Very good. She's like the modern day Erykah Badu type of songwriter. Very freaky, beat making, the lo-fi, boom bap, tu vois, children of that. C'est excellent. C'est excellent. Puis j'aime bien regarder Woke. C'est une nouvelle série qui vient de sortir. C'est avec... lui, il rit parce qu'il aime pas ça.
I thought you told me that your thing was that, what was that show, the horror movie show you've been telling me about?
Yeah.
Lovecraft,
The new episode is
man,
whack.
They need to pay us, man. We talk so much about it.
Yeah, even off and on camera.
Off, on, But the last episode was last night and it was whack. It was an épisode poubelle.
One of those feeling episodes,
No.
yeah.
Mais la série Woke, je sais pas si vous avez vu la face de Julio quand j'ai dit cette suggestion-là, but I saw a lot of hate. Parce qu'il c'est vraiment corny, Aïcha. Mais en gros, c'est l'histoire d'un homme noir qui fait des cartoons, puis qu'il est vraiment pas woke. Là. Il est comme, oh, why my cartoon needs to be about race? Black people always make stuff about race. Puis, and he's black saying this. Puis là, comme, à un moment donné, il se fait arrêter par la police. Une comédie. Il se fait arrêter par la police brutalement, tout ça. Puis il est comme traumatisé. Puis là, il développe un superpower. Qu'il voit des cartoons qui parlent puis qui lui disent des trucs woke, tu sais. Puis c'est ça. Puis on suit vraiment comme son chemin de vie à travers
But
ça.
has he seen it?
Yeah, he didn't see it
I try.
all the way.
Tried. Okay.
That's why he's hating.
I'm an open-minded guy, I try things once.
And halfways.
Yeah. Oh, another thing. Oh, because I had mentioned it to you, but books.
Yes.
I've been reading a lot lately. Mm-hmm. And winter is coming. Mm-hmm. Get your books ready. But three-body problem. This is a crazy book. A science fiction book. I believe the guy's name is Liu Cixin. Just translated to English like five years ago.
Okay.
Crazy. It's a trilogy, but if you look Three-Body Problem up, you'll find the trilogy. It's like some sci-fi, like mixing in some historical stuff with like present stuff and like ideas. It's just like, I'm addicted. I'm on like halfway through the second book. I'm just trying to finish it all as fast as possible because I can't work. I want to read. I just want to read.
Moi, je voulais recommander un autre podcast qui vient de Montréal aussi, qui s'appelle Walk or Whatever.
Ben oui.
Et c'est deux filles, je me rappelle plus de leur prénom, pardon, mais elles font, pardon.
Il y a Rebecca
Entre autres, et elles invitent d'autres personnes. C'est des filles noires à Montréal qui donnent leur point de vue sur l'actualité et les sujets du jour. Donc, je voulais leur donner la force et que.
Yes. Ils enregistrent ici aussi.
Ouais.
This place is awesome.
Yo, it's lit.
Ouais, dédicace à Studio Sans Fil.
They
donc,
got Mortal Kombat 3 in the Super Nintendo.
Ouais, ça, et je vous ai aussi donné un shout-out à Martin Booty Spoon pour Lickety Click. Et ouais, Lickety Click.
He's coming to the store today. We're talking about a little project.
Donc ouais, dédicace à Jason, ton projet il déchire, c'est comme vraiment à ton image et voilà quoi, à suivre. avec ce qui se passe avec Kris. Donc ouais, ça c'est mes recommandations.
Ben, c'était Aïcha.
Et Julio Mendy pour le bulletin des cousins. Merci encore Kris Guilty.
Merci
Thank you guys so
beaucoup.
much.
Où c'est qu'on peut te retrouver, médias sociaux, etc.
Yeah, in real life, 77 Bernard West. Almost every day.
That's it. Et pour le reste, la Rama Records, voilà, vous pouvez tout
At
trouver.
la Rama Records.
Dédicace à tous les artistes locaux qui sont avec qui on peut acheter leur musique directement dans ton magasin et pas aller se prendre la tête, aller chercher à droite à gauche. C'était un plaisir de t'avoir. Ça fait longtemps qu'on parlait de t'avoir ici. Et, ouais.
Merci.
À la prochaine.